Wake Up Pancreas. I'm Danny.
And I'm Alex.
And welcome to episode 10 of Wake Up Pancreas. I just want to talk about her swimming.
Yeah, go ahead.
I am like, if anyone's ever seen The Goldbergs, the TV show, Beverly Goldberg,
Yes,
that is me in real life. Like, she thinks her kids walk on water. She's like, oh my goodness, you did not wet the bed last night. You are amazing. You are officially an adult. And that's how I am when I watch my kids, especially when they do sports and they accomplish something. I'm like, she's going to the Olympics. He is amazing. Look at him hit that ball in baseball. Woo! Yeah. He only got on first, but it's okay. He's amazing. Like, my mind, and I just sit there. I watch these parents on their phones.
Oh, yes.
Texting,
Everybody's
and
on their
so
phone.
sad. Like, I watch the kids like look up, like, hey mom, hey dad, and they're so sucked into their phones they don't even see it. But I'm that person that's like, oh my goodness, this is the most amazing show I've ever seen.
Yes,
I can't take my eyes off.
I get a lot of elbows of like, hey, she's going to the Olympics. And I'm just staring at her. She's just treading water at this point.
But she's not going to die. She can now swim.
Oh,
kind of. With a floaty.
Yes.
So it's pretty awesome though. But recently we've switched swim instructors for Marcel. So we switched from one program to another because she had been in a program for like a year and a half, and in the beginning we could tell she was doing really good, but then you roll your eyes at me as we're doing it because it's true. No, she was doing really good, except she just stopped progressing. They continued to do the same skills with her over and over again. So we decided to look for another program to see maybe she would do different, and she has come so far in the last 3 weeks.
Correct.
But the one thing that the reason bring this up on Wake Up Pancreas is how it affects her sugar.
Yes.
So like last week, she was in the 300s going into swim practice. I was like, oh no, and it's only gonna be 30 minutes. So I have snacks and everything, but I'm like, she's good. That swim practice for 30 minutes dropped her to like 100 flat, the magical unicorn.
Yep, the
which
magical unicorn.
is like, whoa, like 30 minutes of swimming. And it's not even like it's continuous. Well, it kind of is. She does bobs and up, but she's not swimming laps back and forth.
No,
continuous.
she's not. There's no Olympic swimming going on here.
Not yet. Give her another 5 years. She'll be good to
Jeez.
go. But no, she's not. I'd be lying to myself if I wasn't hoping that she would be an Olympic swimmer, just so that we could say she is a type 1 diabetic conquering that and swimming at the same time. Like, it's, if she doesn't want to swim, she doesn't want to swim. But deep down inside, I'm like, please keep swimming. You look so good out there. But today we went into it, and I think her sugar was in like the 200s again. And I was like, I know what happened last time.
What happened?
Well, she dropped like 200 points. So I was like, let's see how this goes. And she dropped, but not till afterwards. And it was like 106, which is still amazing. That's apparently my word tonight. Amazing.
Yeah.
It was great. And then now she's low. We just put her to sleep and she's in like the 50s. So we're like, oh no. And she's like, I'm hungry. And that's her tell. And it's just like, sports are so good for type 1 diabetics,
Yes, they
especially for her, because she's going to be seeing the effects tomorrow and sometimes 2 days later, which is really good. So I'm excited to see what happens this summer, because we are doing swimming 2 times a week. We're doing soccer camp, which is 5 days a week, so twice during the summer. And then we're also, I feel like there's something else we're missing here.
No,
Soccer, swimming, baseball, 3 times a week. So I'm excited to kind of see what that does to her sugar. A little worried that we're going to be filling up with a whole box of fruit snacks pretty often. But I think that just means we got to let her go a little high, knowing she'll come down. But we'll have to see how that goes.
Yeah, but overall, the effects of just swimming alone bring her down, and that's a good thing. That's one of those things that we see through the website and on Facebook all the time, especially with all the kids with type 1 diabetics. If the more active they are, the sugar will shoot down. And sometimes we have her here just jumping around in a little toy, right? Just like, hey, your sugar's super high. Maybe you want to jump around a couple or run around the house as much as you can to bring down that sugar.
And it works. And her tell is, Mom, I'm hungry. We're like, you literally just ate, girlfriend. Like, what do you mean you're hungry? She's like, I'm hungry. And then she gets that whiny mood because that's what happens when her sugar drops. And, yep, her sugar dropped from that little bit of exercise.
Do you think we have more of an aggressive or more of the happy-go-lucky, especially as the sugar's shooting down?
I would say before I was like panic mode. Like in the beginning, I had to call like a friend because I'm just like, I'm supposed to be the nurse here. I'm supposed to be able to do this, and I am freaking out. What do I do?
I'm not talking about your aggression towards the type 1 diabetic. I'm talking about Marcel. Do you think she's more of a drunk, happy-go-lucky?
I thought you were talking about my parenting style. I was like, oh, I'm good. I'm pretty relaxed now.
No, I'm talking about Marcel. You think she's more of like, oh, she's giggling all the time because your sugar's down? Or she's more aggressive and more like mean a little bit because she's like, oh, my sugar's down. Give me food now.
We definitely have the angry drunk.
Yeah, we do.
She is just like a angry machine if she is hungry. And I think she always has been, even when she was an infant before she was a type 1, you don't mess with this girl's food. You give her food constantly or she's going to scream until you do. And when I say scream, I mean she'll scream for 3 hours until you give her that food. Yeah. So it's not like it's going to stop. And I think with type 1 now, we can't, I don't know, we can't really play that game. Like some parents, I think, they're like, you don't want to eat your, not just type 1s, but in general. Oh, okay. If you don't want to eat your dinner, you can't have anything, you're going to go to sleep without it. That's your own fault. You chose not to eat. We can't play that game. But we've tried.
But at the same time, she's getting smart. And she's like, you know what, guys? I don't think I'm going to eat today. I'm going to eat the salmon. I don't really like the salmon today. But I do want dessert. And she'll wait till her sugar hit really low. Oh man, guess what? We gotta give her something. We gotta give her something. Her sugar's shooting low.
And she likes anything that's sweet, so it's a win-win for her. So she's starting to learn how to play the game. I mean, I can't fault her. I probably would too if I had that.
I would do the same.
If I had that magical gift of hers.
You kidding me? I'd be like, yeah, I'm gonna wait to just eat candy as much as I can, even though you're not supposed to. Right? She can eat whatever she wants with limits, like any other kid.
But thinking about the summer and everything she's going to do, if we plan a vacation at all, so we recently, I think we talked about that we went to Oregon and we had a packing list, but it was nothing like what I saw on the Facebook group the other day.
You know what? Good for them. They're very prepared. I tell you this. If a disaster happens, they are prepared.
They are. So the other day, I was on Facebook, on Alex's Facebook. We've already established this. I am like a secret spy under him. And this mom's like, we are going to like an amusement park for like a day and a half. The amount of supplies that she packed, like a thing of Pedialyte, like a big thing of that. I think 2 or 3 Dexcoms, like maybe 3 insulin pumps, and all this other supplies. Like it took up her table. It was like, I sat there like the meme of Kermit the Frog, just like side eye, like, are we those parents that are totally unprepared for life and we just don't realize it? Because all the comments underneath were like, oh, you got this. I always bring Pedialyte too. Oh yeah, that's enough. Make sure you bring extra this, extra that. And I'm just like, like that totally is not how we approach traveling with a child with type 1 diabetes.
But then again, I'm pretty minimalist. And this is going back to camping itself.
Yeah.
We remember that one time we went camping, your favorite camping trip?
Oh yeah.
So that's, go ahead.
He is all about, you know what, you don't need that tent. It's too heavy. Throw it out. You don't need that. It's too heavy. Throw it out. Well, guess what? We followed his directions on that camping trip. And guess what? My feet almost fell off. I froze that much. Okay, maybe not that extreme. But it was so cold. So we started the day and it was right on a lake in Colorado. And it was like in the 80s.
It was in the 80s. It's a beautiful day.
Oh, it was amazing. And it was even hot when we were falling asleep. And then all of a sudden, typical Colorado weather, like a cold front came in to the point that it was gonna snow the next morning. And it was so cold, I just kept rolling around, waking up saying, what the F?
Oh my God.
And it was only like every other hour. And I'm like, it's only 1 o'clock in the morning, when can we leave?
Not only did we not have something in the bottom to like soak up, make sure our heat stays with us. So the ground is basically sucking up our own heat, right? We slept in small little pebbles. And I used to do that when I was younger. No problem, I'll fall asleep. This time, I felt every nook and cranny of every rock. I felt like my back was falling apart and cracking, right? And all I see is Danny sit up and look at me and say, what the F, right? And all I could think in the back of my head, it was giggle and laugh, right? Because I'm like, she's so miserable that it's just making me laugh.
You know what's probably worse is our Saint Bernard at the time, Duke. Even he was cold. Like he was slowly like traveling in and like down. But yet the kids who had the thinnest sleeping bags, they're like, oh, it was so comfortable.
It was so
they were so
warm.
warm. I was like, well, I was scared you guys were gonna die. So I am so happy you guys survived because my feet were numb in Uggs and like triple layer socks for the next 3 hours when we finally did get in the car. It was so cold outside. I'm surprised we did not get a cold weather injury.
Oh my Lord. But going back to the packing list, right? We are minimalist, but at the same time, we bring all the essentials. We bring stuff for her glucose monitoring, so basically check her blood, right? At the same time, we have everything just in case if it fails, we can check her sugar. Even though we don't like checking her sugar that often, we've done it before. That's how we started, correct?
Yeah. We started with what our first endo said. They start us out as if we have no technology so that we know how to do it if the technology fails, which is actually great. But now Marcel's too scared of needles to even try it. But she's really good with her finger sticks. And she'll even tell you, because she does not like putting the Dexcom on, because it just has this loud pop to it that it just scares her for some reason. She can handle her Omnipod, so her insulin pump, but she cannot. The Dexcom just throws her over the edge. She's getting better now, but still not there yet. But she'll tell you, oh no, I'd rather have my finger stick the rest of the day if my Dexcom fails, and then we can do it tonight. Or can we just wait till tomorrow? I'm like, no, we can't wait till tomorrow. No. But she'd rather have her finger stick. So I think when we packed this time, I don't think I brought a Dexcom because I was like, I have what I need for if her sugar drops. I have her Baqsimi, so her nasal glucagon.
Yeah, her emergency kit.
Yeah, I have plenty of sweets in the car if she needs it. Yep. We have.
We rely on Gatorades. Now that we're thinking of Pedialyte, right? We're like, well, just give her a Gatorade. You shoot her straight up, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. We found the red one. We'll get her up there and stay there. We haven't tried the other ones, but the red one keeps her there. And we were having a hard time when she had a stomach virus, and that's what worked for us. But now we just have to remember when we give her a Gatorade, make sure it's not a zero, because we've been buying a lot of Gatorade Zero without thinking about it. So we got to make sure we have the right ones. But going back to our trip, I don't think I even packed the Dexcom, but we had enough finger strips. Like we opened a new kit, so we had like 50 of them. It was only going to be for 2 nights. And then I think I brought 2 pods. And even there, I was like, oh, I might be overreacting. But the reason I brought so many is because there's been times when they have failed, like the inserting them, it didn't insert properly. And I can't control that. So having a second one helps. And they last for 3 days. So and just in case you were to tear one off. So I did bring 2 of those. And I think we actually brought her insulin as well. We might have brought a pen as a backup with a few needle heads. But we didn't bring any major stuff because I was like, it's just like anything else. We have stuff to get her sugar up if she's low, and we have stuff to check her.
So I think we bring just the essentials. Well, we know that she's able to survive for a couple of days. We're able to check her sugar, and we're able to give her insulin. Is all packing all that stuff? I think it's great. I think it's being prepared is always being great. But obviously, it's mostly my thinking of minimalist. The less I bring, the less I have to carry. That's been my model for quite a while.
I don't know if you do this, but I often find myself questioning, am I complacent? Am I too lackadaisical with this? Because if not, I would be a stressful mess. So it's better for me to be lackadaisical, but as long as we're not becoming so complacent, I'm like, oh, her sugar says extremely low, we'll check it later. I do find that if I'm in bed, I'm like, I really don't want to get up if it's really low, and I'm like, I know I had to get up. So like that little Jiminy Cricket on my shoulder is like, you gotta go check, and I'm like, I know, and it's like me dragging like a child, like I don't want to, Mom, but okay, I'm there. All right, well, that's it for today's show with Wake Up Pancreas. See you next week.